Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Into the Den. I'm your host, Jay Freeman. Recording this the morning after the Bruins beat the Buffalo Sabres 4-1 in their third game of the season, 10-22-21. And honestly, this one said a lot more than about the Sabres than it did about the Bruins. And I mean, come on. For like almost immediately into the game, and well, first off, we have to discuss the fact that, oh, did you know that Taylor Hall was a Sabre last year? Linus Ullmark was also a Sabre last year too. We get to see Hall versus nothing when last year it was Hall or nothing. Turns out Buffalo decided they wanted to say. Turns out Buffalo wanted to do nothing there. So and we will talk about Taylor Hall in just at the end of this. Um, and but I mean, like this was a weird game in my opinion, just a little bit, uh, partially because the Lions were really cracked for some reason, and I mean, top line was always going to be Bergeron, Marchand, Pasternak finally connecting uh, for a goal for Pasta for the first time this season. But after the first line, we had Hall, Taylor Hall, Charlie Coyle, Craig Smith, which you don't really see Charlie Coyle in the second line anymore. Yeah, and fourth line was sort of standard with DeBrusque, and Noshak, and in fourth line Anton Bleed making his 2021 debut, and on defense we also had someone making their debut this season in of Mr. John Moore being on the third pair of defense, and it's alongside Derek Forbert. But we will get into it. But to start at the game, it definitely felt like the Bruins were far more on track this game than they were in the past two games. But I mean, it's Buffalo. It's Buffalo. Oh. You had the only really bit of contention at the start was on the Pasternak goal, and that was because so Marchand ends up cross-checking a defender, but there's no call on it, which allows the Golden Line to set up that first goal of the game. Buffalo fans were kind of like, I thought this league was taking cross-checking more serious, and like maybe and like yeah, probably it was a cross-check, but I mean, Dangles, let's talk about, like, does it affect possession? And in that moment, in that moment, freaking Bergeron was already in the puck, and that cross check didn't really affect possession, and even then it was, like, it's Buffalo. I don't really need to say much. Just it's Buffalo. Uh, but like almost immediately after that, the Sabres try and get back into the game um, and like rush all the way down to the Bruins goal to the Bruins goal and to which Linus Allmark turns into freaking Spider-Man. Holy crap! Holy crap! There was this like I think like 5 second in period of just I think like 2 or 3 shots on and goal, but the puck was rattling around like and like constantly less than 5 feet away from the crease, and he was just is go he was just flinging himself all around. There was it was crazy because it almost went in. The Bruins almost let one in, but it hit off the post and went out, and that was just fun as heck. But uh, but really, I mean, Buffalo had a few. I mean, Buffalo had a few good performers. I mean, it's not many days in which she get several players on having over 6 shots on goal. Well, coming from Tage Thompson and Dylan Cousins and Rasmus Dahlin. And can I just say, I feel bad for Dylan Cousins because because it's like the dude is going to be like the Dylan Cousins is going to become just the guy since Eichel's pretty much out. Eichel's out until Buffalo wants to freaking trade him. Wants to freaking trade him or whatever the hell they want to do with him. But like there wasn't. But like I feel bad for Dylan Cousins because he's just going to be ruined. And but we have but I mean there was also we also had Thomas Nosek getting his first goal of the season and off of a few ricochets. Is Charlie Coyle also putting one in? And I didn't know that Coyle ended up getting 2 points and 3 points in this game, leading the team. Like compared to his performance last year, I mean, shit, he's already doing better. There were a few, and hell, one of those goals, I think it was the Coyle goal, actually came on, actually ended up coming on a Bruins power play, which I mean we had been waiting for us to get a power play goal all the past 2 games, but I mean, it's not guaranteed that you're going to get a power play goal every single game that you're on the power play. But I mean, I feel like it should have been a little bit earlier than this, and you get Taylor Hall at the end, and off of a juicy forecheck, just flying down the ice and tapping it in for the final goal of the game. Victor Olaf, but I mean Victor Olofsson ended up putting one in for Buffalo eventually, which was but I mean, it was sort of at that point the Bruins were already up 3-1, if I'm not mistaken. We were already up either 3-1 or 2-1, and it clearly looked like the Bruins were suffocating the Sabres to the point where it didn't even matter. But I don't know. It felt Buffalo fans were definitely sort of like, holy shit, are we good now after their after winning after winning their first 3 games of the season, including one against the freaking Habs. But sorry, it's 8 in the morning. I'm sorry, but yeah, they won against the Habs, the Coyotes, and the freaking Canucks. And of those, the only ones that I'd really consider to be like contenders this season, or rather the closest thing to contenders, is the Canucks. But really, there's Buffalo. You gotta start to get you gotta figure out what the hell you want to do eventually. But I mean, you gotta wonder how much how long you have to go until you finally make a decision on Jack. I mean, you've already given off Ristolainen, you've already given off Reinhardt. The next logical step is Eichel, and with his current net, with his current, I mean, you've pissed him off to the point where he wants nothing to do with you. You've lost all trade leverage, and like the best you're gonna get now is like a I don't know, a first and a third for him. Like it's not. I'm freaking. You got fleeced. It's eventually a thing where you need to end up getting fleeced. Like with trading Taylor Hall last year. His production just tanked after Jack got hurt, and it ended up becoming sorry. And you ended up needing to send him and Curtis Lazar for Anders Bjork in a second. By the way, Anders Bjork did pretty much not. He had 2 shots on goal all game, but freaking. But yeah, if Buffalo wants to actually, I mean, you gotta at this point you need to start looking towards the future. You have to. Buffalo has to think about, okay, how are we actually going to take care of the Skinner contract and the Oposo contract? How are we gonna develop Dylan Cousins? How are we gonna treat Dylan Cousins? Because it's got to be better than how the fuck you're treating Jack Eichel. Well, how are you gonna treat Tage Thompson? How are you gonna treat Darlene? And most importantly, how are you gonna develop Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen? I mean, the dude is like the best prospect in your entire system, and you need and like you need to Buffalo needs to develop him properly, because well, if they don't, they're gonna be freaking screwed. I mean, Craig Anderson last night looked looked 40 years old. Well, he was just getting he was getting kind of overworked, and it was painful to watch him in net. But I mean, there's not much else I could really say about the Bruins in this game. I mean, it did feel like we had taken like a we had taken a penalty or two a little bit too much again, and that's definitely can be something that like you gotta work on. You gotta work on freaking discipline and not taking penalties. But really, there's nothing more I can really say about the Bruins. So that is it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Click like if you like. Click subscribe if you really thought that this was is a good time. And I don't know what you want to tell your friends, but the Bruins next game will be on will be tomorrow on the 24th at 1 p.m. against the San Jose Sharks, who just freaking destroyed the Maple Leafs. And I bet they are missing Zach Hyman a lot.